first of all, I'll have you introduce yourself and what you do here at Pella High School.
Okay. Hi, I'm Lisa Witzenberg, and I teach secondary special education at Pella High School.
And how many years have you been in the district?
This will be my 17th.
And why did you get involved in special education?
Okay. There are a couple of reasons I got involved in special education, but primarily years ago, I had an aunt with Down syndrome, and she went to a private education. And this was before any of the legislation passed to include students with disabilities in the regular school system. And when she turned 18, she said, "I'm old enough now, I'm graduating," and she came back to Pella. And at that time, there wasn't anything available. So my grandparents, or my grandmother, and several other people from Pella got together and started a Christian Opportunity Center at Pella.
And now you're here at the school district.
And now I'm here at the school district working with students with disabilities.
And how many students do you teach and support typically in a given year?
In a given year, it varies based on their ability level, and so I have had anywhere from 10 up to like 13, 14.
And what are some of those challenges that you face? I mean, you come from a family where you were maybe exposed to it at a younger age than some,
Yes.
but what are those challenges you face in the classroom daily?
Some of the challenges, students often with disabilities deal with a lot of discouragement, and so always being a cheerleader and recognizing their strengths and their abilities and focusing in on those and helping them with transition and aspiring to do things once they get out of high school.
And what then are some of those positive outcomes that you do have when you fight through those challenges and you do get a result that's a positive result, whatever it may be?
One of the positive outcomes that I have incurred is I had a student, and the first year I had him, he was a sophomore, and for the entire first semester he never really talked to me. Would just only look at the table and work on his computer. And as time went on, we talked more, and I recognized that he had a lot of intellectual abilities, and he was a very bright young man, and worked with him. And eventually he went on to college, had an internship in biotechnology, and a paid internship in biotechnology. And so going from someone that would not even have eye contact or talk to me to someone that had an internship was an incredible experience. Well, I would say it's not different in the fact that you should interact and treat everyone with kindness and love and want to be a friend in spite of, all of us have a thing.
Right.
And so I would say that would be it. You just treat them with kindness and love like you would and should anyone else.
Lori, introduce yourself and your role at Pella High School.
My name is Lori Grubb, and I teach the level 3 students, the students with the more intellectual disabilities, the more severe maybe, and some physical disabilities as well.
And how many years have you been in Pella?
This will be my 12th year.
And why did you get into special education?
Well, I was a 40-year-old college freshman, and I guess by the time I got around to going to school, different life experiences I had just pointed me in this direction. I have always had a heart for people who are different from me, and I've always been attracted, any person that I can learn from, and it was just a God thing.
And how many students do you teach and support in a given year, typically?
Usually around 10. It can fluctuate a few below.
And we've had the opportunity to talk to you before about this, but certainly, especially when you have students that have high-level disabilities, what are some of those challenges that you and the staff here face every given day?
Well, working with students who are nonverbal, learning how to communicate to them so that they can understand what we're asking from them, and then giving them some tools to use in return to communicate. That's probably the most challenging part. Being able to figure out where they are at, meeting them where they're at, and then helping them progress and become the best young person that they're capable of being.
And what is that like when you do get to that level of progress, when you get to the steps or the big outcomes? What is that like for you as a teacher teaching these students every day?
It is an amazing experience. We actually had that experience 2 years ago. We had been using a communication device with a student, and I don't think he realized the value that iPad had for him. And when he finally got it, and we were having a back and forth conversation, I mean, we were all crying. It was exciting, you know, because while that may seem like a teeny tiny minuscule thing to some people, that was like the whole world to us, because we knew it was going to open up the world for him. You just treat everybody the same, basically. We have peer art and peer foods class now, as well as peer PE. Those two programs have come on in the last couple of years. And that gives more students the opportunity to try something new and try to be a peer helper to someone that they know nothing about. And it has really opened up a lot of the Gen Ed students' eyes to how much more alike we all are than how different we are. The physical, the speech, any type of block maybe that there may be in communication or just interaction is just wiped away, and you see the students just all being students together.
Here we go. The first thing I'm going to have you do is introduce yourself and your role here at Pella High School.
Okay, my name is Sarah Kopnick. I am a 9th through 12th grade special ed teacher, and I have the resource room, and primarily I work with kids who have behavioral challenges, academic challenges, or who are at risk of maybe not graduating all the way through.
And how many years have you been here at Pella?
This is my 10th year at
10th.
Pella High.
And why did you get into special education?
I've wanted to be a teacher since I was 5, and then special ed kind of came up when I worked at a camp when I was 18 for adults with disabilities, and then that kind of increased my passion level for working with people with disabilities, and then I majored in that in college.
And with the programs that you have here, how many students do you typically teach in a given semester or year?
It ranges from, I think my lowest when I first started was 12 on my roster, and this year I have 19, and 19 has been the highest on my roster.
What are some of the challenges that you face in the classroom daily?
Behavior is a huge challenge. Kids coming to us maybe not nourished, they lack food at home, some don't have, like I've had kids with no power. Home lives is kind of a struggle for a lot of the kids. There's a lot of dysfunction sometimes with that. Challenges at school is just motivating them to go out to class, or trying to communicate with parents, other teachers, with our admin staff, everybody to be on the same page to best meet the need of the kid.
And what are some of those positive outcomes you get, though, by fighting through those challenges? And what are some of the most rewarding things that you see in the classroom?
We see them grow, like we see them master a skill that they maybe have taken 3 years. If I've had them for 3 years, they finally maybe get it their senior year. They get jobs, they work in the community, they're able to communicate themselves one-on-one with different adults in the building. I see them out in the community and they're able to talk to other individuals. It's just a rewarding job overall to see them grow.
And we wrap up with a question we've asked everybody this, is the idea that, especially for someone who has an interaction with those that have behavioral issues or disabilities, you know, a lot of them wonder, well, how do I make that first step to engage someone with that? What is the best advice you could give to someone who wants to engage that population better, or to make a friend in that population that is often overlooked and has a lot of needs?
My advice would just be not to judge someone based on their outward appearance or what you think someone or how you think somebody's going to act. It's just to be a respectful person and to treat them with kindness.